January 2025, Donald Trump launched his own meme coin. Within days, the price surged by over 10,000%, with investors pouring in money, believing they were part of something historic. Trump himself never officially endorsed it, but his family, his campaign insiders, and even his social media team all played along, cryptically referencing the token, hyping it up just enough to send it to the moon.
U.S. stocks ended modestly higher on Wednesday.
Companies are talking about
S&P 500 gaining about 0.25%.
We haven't seen U.S. presidents launch their own coin, their own cryptocurrency.
Then, right at its peak, Trump's wallet dumped millions in holdings. The price tanked, investors lost billions, and Trump walked away untouched. And this wasn't the first time. Governments worldwide are using meme coins as financial honeypots, pumping them up, dumping them on investors, and cashing out with zero consequences. It's the oldest scam in crypto history. But when governments and ex-presidents do it, it becomes something else entirely, a legally protected heist. Trump never directly promoted his meme coin. His campaign didn't explicitly endorse it. Instead, the hype was built through subtle signals. Trump's son, Eric, tweeted about it cryptically. MAGA influencers kept saying it's not financial advice, but still encouraged people to buy. The coin's website used Trump's image, but legally he never approved it. It was all by design. The goal? Hype it up enough to make people believe Trump was behind it, without ever legally tying himself to it. Blockchain analysis showed that over 75% of early holdings were controlled by wallets linked to known Trump affiliates. These wallets dumped right before the crash, cashing out millions in profit while retail investors got wiped out. The worst part? There's no way to prove wrongdoing because of one simple legal loophole. Trump's team could just say, it was never an official Trump project, and that's exactly what they did. Argentina's Libertad coin followed a nearly identical playbook. Top government officials hyped it up, branding it as a revolutionary financial innovation that would free the country from economic instability. Investors rushed in, believing they were part of a historic shift toward financial sovereignty. But behind the scenes, over 80% of transactions were controlled by wallets, directly linked to high-ranking politicians. These insiders exploited government-backed promotional campaigns, carefully timing their exit as hype reached its peak. As the retail investors held on in expectation of further gains, the insiders cashed out their holdings, leaving the market in free fall before the public could react. Overnight, the project was abandoned, the money gone. Attempts to question officials led to deflections and vague statements about market volatility and external economic pressures. Just like in Trump's case, the government framed it as an unfortunate but necessary financial experiment. Retail investors lost everything. Many had poured their savings into the project, convinced that state-backed legitimacy ensured security. But the government officials who pushed it, they had already moved their profits offshore, immune from the collapse they orchestrated. And just like Trump, they faced zero consequences. These scams work like classic pump-and-dump schemes, except the people running them are the ones writing the laws. Take El Salvador's Volcano coin. Marketed as the first government-backed Bitcoin bond, it attracted millions in investment. Then, when the price started plummeting, the project was mysteriously shelved. No explanation, no refunds. Or Dubai's Crypto Oasis initiative. Backed by government influencers, it promised to turn the UAE into a blockchain paradise. Instead, it became a black hole for investment, with insiders pulling out their funds before regulatory changes sent everything to zero. Governments know that people trust authority-backed investments more than random DeFi projects. If a coin has a government's seal of approval, it feels safe, even if it's completely worthless. To ensure the hype never dies, they use the same engagement tricks as slot machines. Extreme color branding to trigger emotional responses, political memes and hashtags to go viral, repetitive slogans like "the future of finance" to drill belief into investors. It's the exact same addiction formula that casinos and TikTok use, except now governments are the ones pushing it. Most investors don't realize that governments control insider analytics that no retail trader has access to. Argentina's Libertad coin is proof of this. Internal reports showed that over 80% of transactions were controlled by government-linked wallets. Insiders pumped the price, dumped at peak hype, then abandoned the project. And here's where it gets truly dark. When a private company does this, it's called fraud. When a government does it, they just call it a failed economic experiment. Why nobody goes to jail for this? Because they write the laws. Most government-backed meme coins are classified as pilot programs or experimental initiatives. That means zero legal obligation to refund investors, no matter how much money they lose. And if anyone calls them out, they just blame market conditions. El Salvador's president literally tweeted, "Have fun staying poor," to critics of his Bitcoin policies while cashing out millions from government wallets. In Turkey, state-backed crypto initiatives collapsed, wiping out over $2.5 $4 billion. The government's response? New regulations making it illegal to question financial institutions. Some governments aren't just rug-pulling meme coins. They're using them as Trojan horses. In China, state-sponsored meme tokens were secretly collecting user data. Investors thought they were buying into the next Dogecoin. Turns out, they were just handing over their personal information to state-controlled servers. A leaked IMF report showed that several nations used state-backed crypto failures to study how citizens react to losing money, helping them plan for future economic crashes. Let that sink in. Governments are deliberately rug-pulling their own citizens to prepare for larger financial experiments. And if you still think governments wouldn't rug-pull their own people, just ask the investors who lost everything on Trump's meme coin, or the whistleblowers who disappeared after exposing government-backed crypto scams. Because at the end of the day, governments aren't just playing the game, they own the casino, and the house always wins.